to the people.
We'll go on.
Bringing it back to the people.
Yearning, burning. What is it for? We ain't going.
Hey everybody, how's it going? I'm Maya Azucena. I'm an independent artist, and welcome to the next episode of Conversations with Indie. And I'm here with Chesney Snow. He's a good friend of mine. Chesney is a professional beatboxer. He's an actor. He's an activist, and he works with youth. And he's also a member of Beat Kangz, which is the company that designed a beat machine in competition, sort of with like the MPC. So I want to talk to him about how he took a unique skill and made it work for himself. You were telling me that you went to a conference called NAMM?
NAMM.
What does NAMM stand for?
NAMM stands for, I believe it's the National Association for Music Manufacturers. So it's basically like anyone who makes musical equipment is there basically showcasing their new products.
So because people became to know you as a beatboxer, you were invited by Samson to test out microphones.
Right. I was invited by Samson with I think Taylor McFerrin, Psy Electro, I think Baba Israel was there with us, a couple of other people, I think Kid Lucky was there.
And you were testing out the microphones to prove that the mics could be used.
Yeah.
Right.
We were testing out microphones and really just beatboxing. And the Beat Kangz were actually there with the Street Box, and they were putting the Street Box out. And that was like their first beat machine, which it wasn't a sampler, but it had incredible sounds in it. And so what people would do was actually a couple of producers were telling me that there would be people that would basically take those sounds and then put them on their MPC, right?
Oh, so they would like kind of steal the sounds off. But in other words,
they would buy the Street Box just to get the sound.
So in other words, it had such good sounds, but they were ready to create a new machine.
Right.
Why did they approach you specifically?
They just saw me performing at NAMM, and when I got back from NAMM, I got an email from Asia, the president of Beat Kangz Electronics. And he's like, yo, we're working on this project. We really want to work with you on it. We think you'd be perfect for it. And I was like, I'm down. And, a couple months later, they brought me down to Nashville, which is really a city of music. I don't know if a lot of people know that, but it's like when you get off the plane, there's like a complete musical thing. There's stages where people are actually playing live music as soon as you walk off the plane.
Wow.
There are jukeboxes on the street corners playing music.
Wow.
Okay, it's really like the word is that 50% of all music publishing in the United States actually goes through the
generates out of Nashville. Okay. So they invited you into the studio, and in the process of creating the beat machine,
like well, we spent I think it was like 3 days, just straight full days in like really nice recording studios.
What were you doing?
I was just making all kinds of sounds from the human voice. So the cool thing for me was it really pushed me to just be creative and just create whatever I wanted to. Create from the human voice, and it kind of fit in well with everything else that I was doing when I first started beatboxing, because what I would do was I had this little cheap microphone, and I would make a sound like right, and then I'd put that one sound, and then I would try to figure out what I could do with that sound.
Right.
And so any sort of sound that I could make, I would want to explore, and I think that's one of the unique things about beatboxing is that it's really a musician element of hip hop, because it's just trying to take whatever sound you can and do something with it. So I think people will be surprised when they get the software.
So the name of the current machine is
it's called Beat Thang, and then we have one called Beat Thang Virtual.
Okay.
And
and in the machine, it has a bunch of your actual literal sounds.
Right. It has a bunch of my sounds.
That's amazing.
And it's just all throughout the machine. So I have folders like where you can just see beatbox, right? But when you go through the actual kits and the sounds, it's just me alongside your regular 808. So it's
that's
really
outstanding, because I don't think that there exists a beat machine that has vocal percussion inside of it. But now, kind of going back to you in terms of that as a career move and beatboxing even as a career skill. We were talking about how you don't make light of any opportunity. It's like one opportunity begets another opportunity.
Right. I mean, I think it really comes from like my background in theater. And, in theater, really one of the main things that I learned, whether working in Shakespearean ensembles or just doing, I guess modern plays off Broadway, is that you can't take you have to take any role, small role, and you have to make it gigantic, So even if you just have a few lines in a play, you play those lines as if you are the lead.
Right,
you know what
right.
I mean?
With as much conviction and as much passion and curiosity, and what reflects from that is what you said is your next gig, basically.
Really,
tell me, because you were saying you had gone for a role that was like a small role, and you ended up getting a large.
It was a Golden Boy. It was my first audition, and this is incredible, by the way. Anyway, my first audition off Broadway was for a play called Golden Boy by Clifford Odets, and it was like a bunch of cats from The Sopranos, and it was funny because when I walked in the audition room, like, I didn't know, I didn't really watch The Sopranos like that, okay, but anyway, I got they originally gave me a very small role to read. I think it only had like 1 or 2 lines, and then afterward I got a bigger role, and so I was like, okay. But I think it was when I went into it, it was like I didn't mind that it was a small role.
Right.
Like most of my work, in theater, has really been taking a small role and learning how to basically play those notes to perfection every night, so that it's like I may be, I may have that one line, but every night I'm going to get that laugh. Every night I'm going to get that tear. Every night I'm going to get that from that role. And so in that sense, I think that having a balance between getting all the leads and all the small parts, really helped me. Because when you get all the leads, it's, you can kind of get in that lead mentality.
Maybe taking something for granted as opposed to treating it.
Really grinding for, because when you have a small part, you want to get that.
Kind of like, is the indie artist the small role sometimes? Like, you know what I mean? You think about it like in terms of our journey and how we're not always guaranteed to be in the forefront on Clear Channel Radio and on the top slot on TRL. But at the same time, it's sort of like how much you put into it is how much you'll get out, right?
Yeah, I absolutely think that. One of the things I think that kind of works in our benefit, being independent artists and all the things that we do, is really having the choice to do what you want. You know what I mean? To really have, because when you, for example, when we're talking about acting, one of the reasons that I stepped away from acting was because it really kind of limits you, because you're as far as artistic, because you're really dependent upon other people's projects, really, whether it's the lighting designer or the director or the editor or whoever it is, and with music, for example, you just put your soul on the stage, and the audience kind of comes into you. Like you can build your own audience, and you can choose the type of projects that you want to do. And so going into music for me actually helped me in acting, because then, I wasn't like looking at it like this is a career, this is what I have to do. I have to, like I was able to do this independent little play just I think a year and a half ago called By Oscar Michaud, which is a story about the first black filmmaker, who was balancing out D.W. Griffith's Birth of a Nation, which was like one of the stereotypical, films that portray black people as like these monsters who were going out to rape people. And so, there was this unsung hero, Oscar Michaud, who was like the Spike Lee of his day, And so, to me, like that was something that I would really want to do, but if I was always going in for acting, I probably would have missed that opportunity.
Anyway, you guys, this is Chesney Snow. He is a beatboxer, an activist, an actor, and many, many, many other things, and many more things to be known in the future to come. But we want you to keep tuning into Conversations with Indie, and thanks for checking out how you can take a unique skill and make it work for you.